We've seen how all our institutions, from a game to a giant corporation, comprise both private and shared elements. People within institutions compete in some ways, while they cooperate in others. Our political system is no different. It uses competition between politicians to decide important questions like how much tax we collect, whether to spend more on schools or defence, whether to escalate or exit a foreign war. The politicians who win the competition for our votes make those decisions. And even if we don't like it, we understand that that's how democracy works. Because that competition between politicians is according to rules. Just as the competition in a game only gives us what we want if both players follow the shared centre of the rules, so we only get what we want from a political system if political competition takes place within the bounds of shared democratic norms, the rule of law, free and fair elections, and the acceptance of the people's verdict. Yet ferocious competition and polarisation is engulfing those foundations. Gerrymandering and voter suppression is rife in numerous states in America, and the impartiality of judges is imperilled. America's founding fathers anticipated these problems and built in safeguards to protect the shared centre. To weed out low-quality and partisan nominees, they required judges to be confirmed by the Senate. The idea was to build the shared centre and bipartisanship.
You can't lose the election and pick judges. If you want to pick judges, you better win.
But today, the parties dictate senators' votes. So those confirmation hearings designed to bolster the shared centre are now increasingly partisan. The judges they approve are partisan nominees, and sitting Supreme Court judges now split along increasingly predictable ideological lines. For now, things are better in most other modern democracies. But that's because of better behaviour, not stronger safeguards. Where the US Senate can veto presidential appointments, in the parliamentary systems of the UK, Australia and Canada, governments can ignore independent advice and appoint whomever they wish as judges and the senior officials who will draw electoral boundaries and administer elections. So they're wide open for abuse by the unscrupulous. Unlike ancient democracies, modern democracies all started with a single head of government, a monarch or president, and an elite class of legislators, judges and officials who act as checks and balances on the head of government and on each other. Today, political competition and polarisation is threatening to break through all these guardrails. We can no longer rely on our elite to defend basic democratic norms. But here's the good news, embryonic though it is. America, the great republic that's most at risk, is developing institutions that could found a new 21st century democratic settlement. They're taking the job of defending democratic norms off the politicians and their enabling elites and giving it to the people. Look more closely and it turns out that we, the people, defend our democratic norms more strongly than our elites, and more reliably, more incorruptibly. It used to be Democrats, but these days mostly Republican politicians vote to tilt the democratic playing field in their favour with voter suppression and flagrant gerrymanders. Republican-appointed judges could easily rule against them, but they don't. But Republican voters think differently. 9 in 10 think it's wrong, 6 in 10 think it's a major problem. Given that, Michigan has built an institution that allows its citizens to defend their democracies even as their representatives have sold out to careerism and partisanship. Other states are following suit. As our series continues, we'll flesh out these arrangements and others that might take us to a safer, fairer, more prosperous 21st century.